Everyone. Good evening, everyone. I call this meeting to order. Would we please all stand and salute the flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as follows. On January 10, 2024, notice was sent to the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, Union County Local Source, Tapa Pinto, Linden, and Clerk of the municipality. By state law, there is no smoking permitted in this building at any time. In addition to the listed items in this agenda, this Board of Education may discuss and act upon other items not specifically referred to herein as is allowed at the regularly scheduled monthly board meeting under the Sunshine Law. Roll call.
Ms. Ulisse? Ms. Armstead?
Here.
Ms. Carrillo?
Present.
Ms. Cintron?
Present.
Mr. Dela Cruz? Here. Ms. Pino?
Present.
Ms. Thomas?
Present.
And Dr. Berghammer?
Present. Our first item on the agenda today is that we are going to appoint or swear in our newest board member, Miss Marianne Wishar. All right. Could you come up, young lady? Now you would, the mayor.
Before I swear her in, I just have to tell a little story. Around and this is very special, I want you all to know. Around 7 years ago, somebody came up with the bright idea of hiring our ROTC students to be involved with our campaigns, and with good reason. Number one, we found out that most of the adults were just coming there chit-chatting and not doing their jobs. So we said, let's hire some kids and see. And then we really went after what we thought were the most disciplined children in the school, and that is the ROTC children. So tonight is a very special night because we've seen our ROTC children graduate into different things. And Miriam came on board as a result of her sister, Hager, who's here. You can stand up if you want. Hager is a graduate of Linden High School. She attends Princeton University. And not only does she attend Princeton University, she comes in from time to time and helps us out with the young people to make sure that they're organized and they understand what they're doing. And so we're very thankful. But not only were they making phone calls, they were getting what we call a good civics lesson and what politics is really all about. It's not just about people voting, it's about issues and understanding issues and what's important in the community. So tonight is a good night because one of those people who understood those issues is going to be sworn in as a board member. And people, that's what this is all about. You know, I tell people at the age of 63, I'm not going to do this forever. But the good thing is that as we pass the baton, we pass it down to young people who want to do this and want to understand that moving a city forward, focusing on an education system, all these things are important. So I just want to thank you for coming on board. I want to thank you for looking and listening and learning. And I want to thank you, and I want to congratulate you as I begin to swear you in as our next board member. And again, just look in the room. If you don't look in the room, take a ride through the city of Linden. And what you see is a very diverse population in this town. And I always tell people, I can't control the demographics of a city. The demographics of a town is going to change. 100 years from now, there's going to be others here. But what I can control is the direction that we put the city in. And so that whoever runs this city, whoever takes over this city, will have something to work with. And I want to be able to say that I left it better than I found it. And that's exactly what we're trying to promote here. Our young people to get involved and leave the city better than what they found it. And hopefully, 1,000 years from now, people will be talking about what a great town Linden is. And that's because that we're training our young people to be involved and do the right thing. And I think we're well on our way with our young people. So without any further ado, let me swear in our newest board member.
Could you do it over by the tigers, right over here? Yes. Yes. Do you have the mic if you have anything else to say?
Getting it.
Oh, your family, bro. Why are we? Come on, Hager and family, come up. Where's your mom? Okay, good. Somebody has to hold the Quran for her.
I got it.
No. She puts her hand on it. You hold it. And just repeat after me. Okay? Come on, right a little bit? Okay. Okay. Good? Okay, repeat after me. You can say your name when I say.
I, Miriam El-Washahi,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and this state
and this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God. I, Miriam El-Washahi,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by the law for the office of member of the Board of Education,
prescribed by the law for the office of the member of a Board of Education,
and I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1.
I am not disqualified due to a conviction or a crime
Am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime
or offense listed in NJSA 188:12-1,
or offense listed in NJSA 18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly perform all the duties that that office according to the best of my ability.
and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, you're a board member. Okay. Let's take some of this stuff and put it down. I need a little help. Huh? Okay. Here you go. Thank you.
Can I take this out? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I won't take too much of your time. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. First and foremost, I want to thank Mr. Mayor for the great speech. Firstly, I owe a debt of appreciation to a few people whom without I would not be here tonight, let alone the person I am today. I want to express my gratitude to my parents for their unwavering support and teaching my siblings and I virtues such as honesty, compassion, loyalty, kindness, and above all, for showing us that education is the key to a prosperous life. To ensure that my siblings and I received the education we deserved, my parents made many, many sacrifices, and as a result, I was raised to believe that education is not given, it's a privilege that unfortunately most people take for granted. Many people worldwide till this day dream of attending school. However, their unfavorable circumstances don't help them very much. It is for this reason I believe it's our duty as adults, parents, and educators in this community to help to continue teaching our children the value of education and the importance it holds, and how our world would simply collapse without it. I also want to thank my siblings, Hagar and Yusuf. Even though they're younger than me, I still learn a lot from them, especially my little sister Hagar, which I believe most of you, if not all, know her. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank each and every board member for trusting me to hold such a position and for allowing me to be involved in our community. It's my promise to you and everyone here tonight to not let you down and to always, always do my best. I was once a student here in Linden, and I had the privilege of attending School 9, McManus Middle School, and Linden High School. And it's safe to say that I had no idea the amount of work and effort that goes into every decision being made regarding the well-being of every student, whether it be physically, mentally, or emotionally, or just ensuring that their academic needs be met. So it's exciting to be part of the behind the scenes now, I guess. I also want to thank you all for all the work you've done and continue to do for our school system, and I hope that I can add to your successes. I just know that every student is lucky to have all of you as their school board members. And as my dad always says, education is power, and with it, you can change the world for the better. And I believe that is one common goal that we all have, we're all trying to achieve. Changing the world for the better. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
I know. Oh. In a minute. No, over here. You go. There we go. You need to help us. Come on. Yeah, watch us.
Switch name tags first.
Yeah, Jess. She's taking her name tag. Come over here.
We'll get the name tag first.
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm. The name, please. What's your name?
I know the family members would like to say something. Any family member that would like to say something, you can do it now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the said Hagar El-Washahi, sister of Maryam El-Washahi. So it is an honor to stand here before you to congratulate my older sister as the newest board member of the Board of Education. Growing up alongside her, I've had the special privilege of seeing her embody the qualities of a leader, not just in her achievements, but in her character and the way she treats other people. As a younger sister, she was my first role model. From a young age, she demonstrated what it means to lead with compassion and integrity. I watched as she dedicated herself to helping others, always putting their needs before her own. Kind of the job for an older sister, to give to your younger sister what you don't have. Whether it's tutoring classmates, volunteering in her community, or simply being there for her friends and families in times of need, she's always strived to uplift those around her. She has a remarkable ability to inspire and connect with people, making them feel valued and understood. Her passion for education, combined with her desire to see every child succeed, has driven her to take on roles that advocate for positive change in our schools and now in our education system. As she joins the board, words can't describe how I'm proud of her. I'm confident that she will bring the same dedication, empathy, and innovative thinking that she has defined her journey so far. She understands the challenges our students face and is committed to ensuring that every child has access to resources and support that they need to thrive. Today, we celebrate not just her new position, but the values she embodies and the positive impact she will undoubtedly have in our community. Please join me again in congratulating Maryam El-Washahi to her new role to the Board of Education. Thank you.
This is what education is all about. Education is something that is living, and it's supposed, we always supposed to encourage the younger generation to grow and replace us. And when they do, they should always be better than us. When I listened to Hagar today, and I thought about 2 years ago, she was the valedictorian of the high school, I think, who got a full scholarship. Hagar got a full scholarship and over, what, $400,000 in scholarship money? She got $400,000 in scholarship money and a full ride to Princeton. Hagar, congratulations. And for her sister, Marianne, I can't pronounce your last name, so do you mind if I call you Miss Marianne? Yes, I can't pronounce your last name. And to you, young lady, for everyone sitting here, I want you to know we had a very good process of selection of our board president, of our board member. We had a job interview. We had several applicants. All the applicants were graded by different board members. The scores were all added up, and Marianne got the highest score. So it was fairly done, and the process was clean, and I feel confident that the board did make the right decision. In moving on, I want to show my appreciation to the superintendent and her, Mrs. Perkins, and her administrators. I want to thank the staff, the students, parents, and the Linden community. This month is Principals Month. For everybody in this audience here, I want you to know the month of October is where principals are recognized. And we were going to have a celebration for them tonight, but a lot of them couldn't make it. So we put it off for next month. But I would like us to give a hand to all our principals. Also, this month, the custodians were also recognized. And we, whether you're a teacher or you are a custodian, you are valuable to the school district. So I want you to give another round of applause to our custodians. Today is October 17th, and it is our second board meeting for the new year. I want to thank my board members for all the hard work we continue to do to keep this school district going. In recognition of my time when I joined the board, when I joined the board, I was asked, what are my goals? And I wish I could have answered that question brilliantly, but I couldn't. All I knew is that I wanted to solve the problems that students face. But after 3 years of being on the board, one thing I learned, and one of my board members, my vice president, always remind me, is that teaching students is not a one-size-fits-all approach, because every student learns differently. And in order to teach students, we have to know how students learn. Over the years, I've also come to realize that respect, trust, collaboration, high scores, and safer schools is what each and every one of us dream of. But I also understand, but that too is a work in progress. But every day we continue to learn how we do and can accomplish the goals of our school district. This is my belief. I believe it starts with having real conversations about the hard stuff, like school discipline, dress code, teacher evaluation, staff morale, student evaluation of teachers, staff, and administrators, and so much more. There is a lot going on in the Linden School District, but in some ways, we are still missing the boat. I ask myself the question every day. I go home at night and I wonder, what can we do differently? What can we do better? And I ask, do we have the right conversations with each other? And are these conversations focused on exchange of ideas and not bashing each other? When administrators communicate with staff, are they just lecturing or are they providing directives? Are administrators just micromanaging and not leading? All our conversations have to be in a place where we can trust each other, where our collaboration could lead to mutual respect. Are we becoming a school district that every teacher, staff, administrator, and student want to be part of? The time has come. It is my hope, after 3 years, it is still my hope that Linden is a great place to live, and Linden School District is a great school district to be part of. Thank you. And now we have to do the roll call. We have to do the roll call for approving
It's just a roll call now that she's on the board. We're gonna do
Okay,
it.
so you want to do it now?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Ms. Ulisse, are you here?
Present.
Ms. Armstead?
Present.
Ms. Carrillo?
Present.
Ms. Cintron?
Present.
Mr. Dela Cruz? Here. And for the first time, Ms. Shahi?
Present.
Ms. Pino?
Present.
Ms. Thomas?
Present.
And Dr. Berghammer.
Present. Our next award is an award for an individual that I really, really, really respect. You know, I live in Linden for over 12 years, and guys, I've been out there for a really long time. And I know we all have heard the word, the phrase, what's in it for me? Right? Most of us, we live by that phrase, what's in it for me? But when I met this gentleman 12 years ago, every time he called me to ask me something, is because he is trying to help someone. I've never met anyone like that. And I hope that never change. And I know there's a lot of us in this room just like that. All we do is want to help each other. And if that is our goal and if that is our mission, America would continue to be a beautiful place to live. So right now, I think I want to turn it over to the superintendent to make the next presentation.
Thank you, Madam President. As Dr. Berghammer stated, this award is meaningful to the city of Linden. On behalf of the Board of Education, they are acknowledging the hard work and partnership the school district has with our Linden Mayor, Honorable Derek Armstead. And the board members, they have a short presentation and a gift to provide to you, Mayor. So if you can come over to the backdrop.
And with our speaker, who is making the announcement for the mayor, would they come up and, or are you making your speech first? Yeah.
Well,
I really don't need a speech. I'll say a few words. But my staff prepared a little speech for me, but I say, you know what? I don't like to read from speeches. I like to go from the heart most of the time. I'm doing what I was raised to do, and I tell everybody, my grandfather came to Linden in 1927, so we've been in this town for close to 100 years, and they were just. My grandmother had a heart as big as this building. Every time I turned around, I'd see somebody and they would say, "Oh, we used to live with you. We stayed with your family on Southwood Avenue." It was like all you had to do was have a problem and needed a place to stay, and she would find a room or somewhere for you to stay in the house, feed you, get you on your feet. That's what they did. And to this day, I mean, I think seeing it as a child, it kind of like stuck with us, and we kind of like have a good heart for doing for people. And even as a mayor, I tell everybody, put Linden first. Especially when it comes to employment. We always say that low-lying fruit, we call it the maintenance jobs, the secretarial jobs, what's the other one? The ones that help in the class, the helpers, the paraprofessionals. Yes, okay. I'm getting old now. I can't remember everything anymore. But that low-lying fruit, it just keeps families together. If a husband is working and his wife has a little additional income to help out, if somebody gets laid off from a job and that husband can become a maintenance person or a janitor in the school, it keeps families together. So I say, that's why I said at low-lying fruit, it's got to be Linden first. We got to, keep these families whole, keep them together. Education is important because our children, their success depends on our education system. And I tell everybody, whether you like it or not, those kids that are running around here one day they're going to be running this city. So we can do more to preserve our future by making sure our young people have a good start in life. And that starts right here with the Board of Education. It starts right here with each and every one of us, just doing a little something. I was just having a conversation a few minutes ago, and we just said, wouldn't it be nice if everybody just got along? Instead of every time you turn around, this one's at that one's throat, this one's at the other one's throat, people dropping bombs on each other, all in the name of what I don't know. But I said, wouldn't it be nice if all humanity could just get along? Imagine if we all put a little energy in just to try to make the world a better place. How good would that be? I guess I'm getting more philosophical as I get older. I'm getting closer to God, I guess. I'm in no hurry to get there, but but as you get older, you start seeing things from a different perspective, and you start realizing just how important it is to give back. And I'm going to close out with my grandmother had this saying, and she said the best exercise for the heart is you could bend over and lift somebody else up. And I think that if we all did that, it'd be a much better place to live. And I don't feel like I deserve an award. I feel like I'm just doing my job, okay, and make Linden a better place. So thank you all for taking me into consideration. Thank you all for recognizing what I do. But you don't really have to. It's my job. Thank you all.
On behalf of the Linden Public Schools and the Board of Education, we say job well done, Mayor Armstead. We are going to ask that all board members go over to the backdrop as well, and one of our
Valedictorian.
past alumni from Linden Public Schools, Ms. El Washahi, is going to be reading off the plaque that is presented to Mayor Armstead.
Thank you. Before I do this, however, I do want to say a story about Mayor Armstead. For once, you're not telling the stories. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, today we gather to celebrate a man whose unwavering commitment to education and community has made a profound impact on everyone's lives here, especially mine. In a world that often measures success by GPA, grades, our mayor understands that education is about so much more. He embodies the belief that it truly does take a village to raise a child. He sees the bigger picture, one where learning transcends the classroom and where every child is nurtured, supported, and empowered to reach their fullest potential. And remember to give back to the community that helped them grow in the first place. So now I'm going to say a story about me, and the mayor especially has a special place in my heart for my journey today. I'll never forget the day I, a junior in high school ROTC, was looking for summer internships. And I received a call from the Mayor Armstead, and he was like, I have a position for you in my own office. And so as a junior, applying to colleges and worried about how I'm gonna get all the volunteer and work hours, I couldn't believe what I was hearing over the phone. And the mayor had wanted a student to work in his office. That's something that now we all know isn't, or is probably is the norm in Linden, but to me and back then, it really was not. So I knew I had to work twice as hard to show him my gratitude for the opportunity and to demonstrate my capabilities. And so, despite my young age, he treated me like an adult. He did not treat me like a child. And as a 17-year-old, I thought I was an adult, but in the mind of other people, I obviously was not. He treated me like an equal. He saw the potential in me, recognizing that my youth was not a limitation, but rather a source of my curiosity, drive, and passion. He understood that including young voices in our community was essential for its growth. He never underestimated me or made me feel like I had to prove myself because of my age. And so now, jump a year and a half later, came my senior year, which brought me one of my proudest moments. I was appointed to the Zoning Board of Linden, becoming the youngest member to ever hold such a position in New Jersey's history. Thank you. And so, yes. And so once again, it was with unwavering support and influence of the mayor that I achieved this milestone. He never saw my age as a barrier. Instead, he recognized the hope and potential my youth represented. And this created a domino effect in my life. It then led to me getting into Princeton, thankfully, which made the dream that my family came here for and the dream that I was achieving and was striving for since freshman year came true. And it was all due to his influence. He'll never take credit, but it's due to his influence. So through his leadership, the mayor has shown, again, that age is not a barrier, and the children and the youth of this community is what makes this city the way that it is. And it will, again, unfortunately, he can't be mayor forever. So the youth will have to grow up, and we are taking those responsibilities. So to this day, when I mention that I know the mayor personally and have had the honor of working with him, whether that be in my school or outside of Linden, people are flabbergasted. And it sort of reminds me that this is not the norm, right? His accessibility, people having his number, being able to call him personally and saying, I know him and I have a personal connection to him, it's not the norm outside of Linden, which what makes Linden such a great city to be in. And again, grateful that I'm in it and one of its members. His engagement with the community goes far beyond superficial. He's here for us every single day, whether that be stopping to talk to residents on the street or coming to these events and always showing up. So as we reflect on his impact and his leadership, it becomes clear that connection between education and community is essential for growth and success, something he more than understands. Education is not confined to the four walls of our classrooms. It thrives in the interactions we have, the opportunities we seize, and the relationships we build within our community. He taught me that people is what makes a home, and he makes this place a home for every single one of us. So again, thank you for leading by example, and please congratulate me in giving him the Community Partnership Award. Thank you.
Let's go over here. Picture with him.
We gotta go take a picture. Let's go. First picture. First picture.
I saw it. And for those of you who don't have my number, it's 908-377-6384. It's 908-377-6384. Just don't call me after 2 in the morning.
This is establishment. Imagine you like this. Board member out.
It is wonderful tonight. Wonderful, wonderful evening. At this time, I am going to make a motion to approve the board minutes.
Okay, sure. At this time, we're going to make a motion to approve the special meeting minutes on September 19th, 2024.
Nobody could hear, he said.
Oh, you can't hear me. Okay. Motion to approve minutes of the special meeting on September 19th, 2024, work session held on September 24th, 2024, and the regular meeting held September 26th, 2024. Roll call.
Oh, I need a second.
Oh, second.
Second.
Yeah, she probably should.
Yeah.
Ms. Ulysse?
Yes.
Ms. Armstead?
Yes.
Ms. Carrillo?
Yes.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. Dela Cruz?
Yes.
Ms. El Wachahi?
Abstain.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes to the 19th and 24th, abstain from the 26th.
And Dr. Bergham?
Yes. At this time, we're going to have comments from the public, but I also want to say a welcome to one of our board alumni, who was our past PTA president, Ms. Donna. Welcome. All right, guys. Members of the public desiring to make a public comment may come forward at this time. For those watching online, if you wish to make a comment or ask a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature on the online meeting platform. Please be begin your comments by stating your name and address. Individuals are invited to speak on one topic at a time, and no individual will speak more than once until all individuals so desiring have spoken once. The public is reminded that to ensure the efficient and orderly operation of the meeting, members of the public will be limited to speaking on agenda items for 3 minutes. Now, guys, we have a clock here, and when you start speaking, you will see the 3 minutes on the clock. Pay attention to the clock, so when the 3 minutes is over, please wrap it up so we can get to the next person who wants to speak. Now the floor is open. Comments from the public.
Craig Halloran, 120 Donaldson Place. I was going through the education report on page 11, items number 25 to 32 involving New Jersey Transit. The first time I've seen this or items like this on any agenda, I was wondering what's going on. Why do we need something like this in our agenda or for the benefit of the school system?
So New Jersey, can I respond? New Jersey Transit is one of our community partners. They have come in the past, last school year. They specifically worked with our high school alternative program students and provided our students with free presentations and workshops on varied topics such as pedestrian safety, rail safety, and just safety procedures in general.
So it sounds like this is an education effort by New Jersey Transit for our excuse me, high school students.
Correct.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget, New Jersey's Transit also helps our children find jobs as well. So don't forget that part. My name is Danny Orlean. I'm here as not only as an educator in the Linden Public School, but also as a member of the Linden community. I have to say that today is a proud moment for me to see Miriam appointed to the Linden Board of Education. It's not only a proud moment for me, but also it's a proud moment for school number 9. And I see that we do have some member of school number 9 in the audience. It's a proud moment for us. Also a proud moment for the Linden Public School as a whole. But as educators in the Linden at school number 9, we have had the privilege of educating Miriam and her family and her siblings. And it's a true success story. It's really an American success story. You have children that come to our country, you know, their parents are in search of better opportunities. And what a success story it is. The education that you have received at school number 9, you know, elementary school, the work that all the teachers at school number 9 have done is the reason why you are here today. We're celebrating your success. We are so, so proud of you. You know, it's important that the elementary level that we do the work that needs to be done, and we have a lot of amazing educators at school number 9. At every elementary school, but I've worked at school number 9 for over 21 years. Of course, I'm biased. And as the multilingual teacher, seeing these children grow and learn, and Haggard receiving a full scholarship to Princeton University. You know, so when you hear people criticize our schools, so when you hear people criticize our board members, when you hear people criticize our administrators, you know, take the time and tell them about the success stories that we have in Linden. Too often, when you look on social media, all you hear about is the nonsense, you know, what's going on. But you never hear the people that are criticize our school talk about our success stories. And we have millions of success story happening in our school district. and you are an example of our success story. Miriam, congratulations on becoming a member of the Board of Education in your town. As a former multilingual learner from school number 9, your success, along with the success of so many others, is one of the reasons why it shows that our school district, we're doing the job that needs to be done. You inspire not only our students, but also those of us who have dedicated ourselves to education. I know you'll continue to make a positive impact in this important role, and I wish you nothing but success in your journey ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Miss Orlean. Donna, how is your daughter going in college? She's doing fine? I'm glad to hear that. Anybody online? Okay. Our next agenda item is our attorney report.
I don't have a report.
No, isn't it attorney first or superintendent? Superintendent's report, yeah.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to start off with sad news to report that I shared out with the Linden community today that we lost an 11th grade student, Jabari Thomas. Jabari has been battling cancer, and he lost his battle. And Jabari has a sister in 10th grade. I spoke with Jabari's mother today, and I informed her that we stand together united to support the entire family. So if we can just take a moment of silence to acknowledge his life. Thank you. We will continue to provide support services to faculty, students, and staff on the journey ahead. And to anyone that is experiencing any loss, just know, again, we stand together, united, to support you all. I would also like to acknowledge that we lost Marsha Gavin, who was hired in the Linden Board of Education in 1968 as an elementary teacher for grade 2. She provided 30 years of service to the Linden Board of Education, Linden Public Schools, and she taught 2nd grade at School 10, remedial reading, 1st grade at School number 2, until her retirement in 2005. Ms. Gavin passed away on October 7th. And at this time, we would just like to say peace and love and memories are sent to the family of Miss Gavin, and may she rest in peace, as well as for Jabari Thomas. We have several retirements on the agenda this evening, starting with Mark Barra. He started his career in 1999. And has worked as a science teacher at Linden High School for 25 years until his upcoming retirement in December. Maria Fabrice started her career in 2004. Maria worked as a cosmetology teacher at Linden High School last building for 20 years until her retirement in January. Antoinette McGrath started her career in 2006. She worked as a part-time school aide for 18 years at School number 5 until her retirement in January. Frances Riggy started her career in 2000. Frances has worked for 24 years as a secretary, starting in the superintendent's office and now at Linden High School until her retirement in February. Dr. Patricia Tardavita started her career in 1993. Patricia worked as an English teacher at Linden High School and as a secondary English language arts supervisor until her retirement in January. To all of the retirees, we wish you much success in the next journey ahead. And thank you for your passion, dedication, and overall commitment to the services that you've provided to the Linden Public Schools District. Thank you. Now at this time, I'd like to recap some of the events that has been taking place. I'd like to acknowledge that we have several students who are partnering with Keene University in the Keene Scholars Program. They start off in 9th grade, and I have just received the interim academic performance report, and all of our students between grades 11th through 9th have ranked at the top of the Keene Scholar Academic Program scale for this moment. So congratulations to those students. We have 2 students who've been recognized as the Union County Student Athlete of the Week, volleyball senior Brianna Paschel and 2-year captain soccer student Brandon D. Campus. Congratulations. Currently, Linden High School students are at their homecoming dance. I received some pictures at this for the event so far. They look great, so we just want to acknowledge them and wish them safe returns after the dance ends. As Dr. Berghammer stated earlier, we have acknowledged that this month we gave a big shout out to our custodians for National Custodian Day. So thank you for the work that you do. And also acknowledging that it is Principals Appreciation Month. Congratulations and thank you to all of our principals in our district. As you lead your building, know that you have our full support in all of your decision making and more importantly, enhancing student learning. So happy National Principals Month to our principals. Later this month, in our monthly administrators meeting, the executive leadership team will be acknowledging our principals, and then next month we are inviting them all back to the board meeting for them to be acknowledged by the board. We had our first annual breast cancer awareness walk on the 12th, and thank you to all of our committee members who put the walk together, and for those of you for showing up in many different ways. We were able to lace up our shoes and come together to unite for a step for a cure. We have raised over $3,000 that have been donated to help encourage and support a fight against cancer. Thank you. This month is also Fire Prevention Month, so thank you to our fire department for coming out to the schools and providing experiences for our students to see the brave work that they do each and every day by visiting their trucks and just learning more about their commitment and service to our students. I'd like to remind our elementary parents that parent-teacher conferences start next week, and it is a great opportunity to continue to build upon the home-school connection. So please come out. The evening night will be on from 6 to 8 on Wednesday. Students in elementary have a half a day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And this month is Anti-Bullying Awareness Month, Red Ribbon Week, and thank you for all that we're doing to fight against drugs. And those are the monthly events. And now I would like to invite up Miss Jeanine Cleary from the NJ School Boards Association. She is the field representative who will be assisting our district with creating our 5-year strategic plan. And she has a presentation to provide to the public to inform you of what we're doing and where we're going. So welcome and thank you. It's going to show up here on the screen.
If it's okay with you, I might just take this and move over here so I don't have my back to everybody.
Whatever works for you.
Thank you.
Do we have a microphone up
Oh,
here?
thank you, sir.
You can take that one. We're gonna take-
I was going to tell you, kind of. Well, I would just like to say, while they're getting that set up for me, it's such a pleasure to be with you on such a special evening, to be with everyone as you're celebrating your community. And I think that the presentation I'm about to give will be meaningful on such a meaningful night. This is an opportunity to engage the public and have everyone participate in a process that speaks to the vision that you want to create for your students of the district. So, and congratulations on the newest board member.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Apologize, it's coming. It's Thank you so much. Okay, may I begin? Okay, so this evening I was asked to come out and share with you the 3D strategic planning process that New Jersey School Boards uses to work with districts to set a course for the future and where you want to arrive with your students. So just for everyone's benefit, the public that may be listening in, New Jersey School Boards is a federation of boards of education which provides training, advocacy, and support to advance public education and promote the achievement of all students through effective governance. A little bit about myself. I am the field service representative assigned to the Linden School District. I'm a former board member myself, having served 6 years. I served on multiple committees. I was the vice president of my board. And separate, after I had that experience, I actually worked in my local school district as the director of operations and special projects, and so I experienced this strategic plan from both the chair of being a seated board member and then several years later as an administrator in the district. So this evening's agenda, we're just going to take a little bit of time to discuss what a strategic plan is, the advantages, and most importantly, how to be a part of the process, because this is a process that really looks to be very inclusive of everyone, because we want to work together to create that vision and the pathway forward for students to build upon the success that you have here already in Linden. So strategic planning actually is a way of creating an organization-wide mission, a vision that's commonly shared by all of the stakeholders, that is a commitment to the achievement of student success. So its advantages are that it's proactive. We're looking forward. Very often in what we do, we have to look at information and we're looking back to see how we got here. This is an opportunity for us to say, where are we now and where would we like our students to be in the next few years? It also is a creative and innovative process because we are engaging with all the stakeholders of the community, parents and guardians, teachers, administrators, and community members at large. It is a planning that is flexible, so it's a process that can take usually around 4 months, but we can shorten that time span or lengthen it a bit depending on what the district needs are. It provides a forum for everyone to actively engage in it. It creates an ongoing cycle of planning, assessment, and decision-making. So once we come together and the community determines the vision that you have for where you want your students to be in the future and the goals and objectives to help them get there, we set on a course where going forward, we start to analyze and focus our attention on how we're going to get there and how far we've gone in the time that's passed. It helps to optimize limited resources because it helps with matching up what your resources are and the best use of them and putting them in focus of what is a need, what is a want for your students. And it increases communication right from the start. We're doing this presentation in public. We're encouraging the public to participate in this process. And then as it goes forward, the superintendent and the board will be reporting out on the progress made, okay? So additional advantages are that it helps to bring focus into decision-making. There's so many incredible and important decisions that have to be made each day in a school district, but when we have a common vision and a strategic plan of how we want to arrive and have our students arrive at that and achieve certain things, then decisions are made through that lens. It also highlights the importance of information in decision-making. So we want to really be collecting the information we need in a very focused way. And it creates a district-wide vision and mission that helps to direct, motivate, and inspire everyone to work for the common goals for our students. So why plan, right? It's hard to, if we think about just being on a road, we want to go on a trip, we spend some time thinking about all of the details of how we have to arrive there successfully. There are different ways to arrive. Sometimes we don't arrive without good planning. We don't arrive where we intended to. Or we can arrive and we're not in the best condition because we didn't remember to pack all of the things that were going to be necessary for us to be successful. So we want to ask ourselves some questions. Some of these on the next slides might just help you to think in terms of what the Linden School District, what the needs are for your children. Some of them may be relevant to you, but it might stimulate you to think of other things that you would want to be addressing through this process. So is your school enrollment changing? Is the makeup of your school population changing? If so, what needs does that present for families and students so that they are arriving in the school building ready to be successful, ready to be open to the learning and the curriculum? Are there more people in your community who don't have children in school? And if so, many communities find themselves in a position where that's true. But how do we engage people who don't have children in school? The children are part of the community, and I can hear from all of the things said earlier tonight, there's a true commitment and caring about the children of the Linden schools and their future success. So how do we engage with people who may not be hearing and getting news right through the school system, about the goals and aspirations, and let them participate in that? Additionally, are there changes in family structure in the community? Is the economic structure of your community changing? What situations might arise because of that you need to address, again, so that you're best preparing families to be supported, to support their children, and to be able to partner well with the educators in the schools? Are educational levels of the community changing? Perhaps looking at ways to help parents and guardians understand the important role that they play and to build upon that homeschool connection for the success of students. Is there competition for your public schools? Are you losing students because certain programs aren't being offered that they may be looking to have, and that's something you may want to consider? Or are you sending students out of district that you would really like to be able to keep in district? Is limited funding impacting your programs and services? And what decisions have to be made about that so that you're maximizing and optimizing resources for the things that you as a community value and place importance on for the achievement of the students. So the strategic planning process is designed to identify strategic planning goals. Within a school district, there are many goals. And what this helps us to do, though, is create the vision through this process, the strategic planning goals, which will be multi-year goals that'll help us on a pathway to achieving these things for our students, with the end goal, of course, being increased student achievement and opportunities for students to be successful in their futures and whatever path that they see is right for them. So the goals from the strategic plan lead into the district and Board of Education goals. Each year, the district sets annual goals for how to move forward, but now they'll be through the lens of what's been determined through the strategic plan. Likewise, the board goals of how to support that are done annually and similarly should be falling into place. And then all of the other goals, the superintendent's goals, the building goals that the principals have and administrators, department goals, staff and student growth objectives and professional growth objectives should be all aligned so that if we're through the strategic plan identifying something that we want to focus on, which might involve, for example, a new type of curriculum being introduced, we want to make sure that we're supporting our educators to be successful with our students in delivering that, and that they're fairly evaluated on that after they're prepared. All of these goals are to focus the attention and the hard work everyone is doing in a really laser-focused way so that we are moving all of the children forward to be successful. So a commitment has already been made and is required for this process to be successful. Tonight I'm here with you because the board has indicated that this is something that they value and want to bring into the district. The next parts of it are that information is collected and shared so that there'll be a common understanding of where we are right now. And then through this process, we'll have 3 meetings where we will focus on strengths and challenges of the Linden Public Schools. We'll then look at visions where everyone would like to see the students go to and arrive at. And then develop goal areas and strategies. And then finally, that is what directs the superintendent and the administration on what action plans are necessary to help the students arrive there and the staff be focused in working with students in a particular way. So we've looked at the strategic plan and what its intent is, and now we're just going to take a moment to look at the actual process and, of course, how you can become involved. So the process involves some pre-planning. The superintendent will prepare a state of the school's overview and share it with all who participate. So there will be 3 meetings. In the first one, generally about a half hour, will be a presentation by the superintendent so that everyone is starting from the same place as we begin the process and the discussions. Then I will facilitate the 3 planning meetings, the first focusing on strengths and challenges, and we want to be able to the meetings will start in a larger group setting and break out into smaller group work so you can really interact with other members of the community and find those commonalities that will help us determine what that plan is going to look like. We'll move on to vision, and then finally, goals and objectives, actually outlining what you want to see for your students and the objective of doing that. So the planning meetings should be, widely published so that every stakeholder in the community who wants to participate is able to do that. Some targeted outreach will be arranged through the superintendent's office, who knows the district best with the board. So specific invitations could go out to community groups who would want to participate in this process. All community members are welcome. I know your back to school nights probably happened already, but we encourage, upcoming events where people are coming out to just keep talking up the process so that we can engage with more people and invite them out and to participate. We ask that the administration will have an RSVP system. Really, we will never turn anyone away from a meeting that wishes to participate. That's really just for us operationally to set up. We know how many supplies we need and how we should break up the tables and just be best prepared to greet everyone. Then we strive to balance stakeholder representation. So if groups are coming, full membership of community groups doesn't have to participate if they're coming to represent their group, maybe 1 or 2 people, but of course all community members are invited to speak on their own behalf. The meeting should be advertised as an open public meeting for the sole purpose of community strategic planning, and it should be made clear in that no other action will be taken. So for the benefit of those who may not know, whenever we have a quorum of board members sitting, then that has to become a public meeting and the public has to have the opportunity to witness it. But for these meetings, it's very important that we respect everyone's time so that we can encourage people to actively participate. So the first meeting generally is a 2-hour meeting, and the other meetings will be an hour and a half. We usually open those meetings with the board president, just doing a brief welcome to everyone. And the superintendent, of course, as I said, will do the state of the schools at the first meeting. We really actively encourage board members and staff to participate in this. The only thing we ask of board members and staff specifically is to really show up as a member of the community. And I know it's a challenge at times, but to just take off the hat you wear and really just be there as an active participant, because we want to make everyone feel comfortable to engage in the process, right? And it's an equitable situation. We need to strike a delicate balance in being able to, as board members and staff members perhaps, to listen to information that at times we may disagree with or we may feel is actually inaccurate. It's not a setting to debate issues. We really want to stay focused on this being a process that's going to help move the district forward, and we really want everyone there to feel comfortable to put their best thoughts out that will benefit students, okay? And after each meeting, I will be providing meeting notes and sharing them with the administration, who will then put it up on the website. So we want this to be a very transparent process. We encourage people to come out for all 3 meetings, but if you can't make all 3 meetings, a good way to keep up on what's happened at previous meetings is to read the meeting notes before the next one, and hopefully you can attend the next meeting. So following the 3 meetings, then the process continues with the administration. So the superintendent and administrators of the district will then take what's been developed from the strategic planning sessions and then work towards the action plans with the focus of what needs to be done, what are the actions we need to take so that we can meet the identified goals and objectives that have come out of the strategic plan. And the presentation finally at the end would be at another board meeting. I would arrange it the proper time to come out to make a presentation about the actual process of what happened at each of those meetings and the actions plans that are being developed. And we welcome and encourage everyone who participates in it to come out and really celebrate it, because you'll each know that you've had a hand in actively participating in something that will be guiding the district forward for the students. So it's important that we all consider it as work of a team, that we're all sharing in this experience for their benefit. We have a strategic planning calendar here with the dates, and I know these will be published, so it's okay if you can't see the slide. But tonight is our first meeting just to do an introduction of this process. And on October 29th, we'll be meeting 1. This strategic plan is called a 3D strategic plan. So the first meeting is focused on determination, which is focused on the strengths, accomplishments, and challenges of the Linden Public Schools. On November 12th, we'll be meeting 2, which will be the second D is Dream. And that is where we'll have activities that'll help you focus on answering the question of where is it you want your students to arrive at? What's the dream you have for them? What's the vision that we can all share? On January 14th, because of calendaring and the holiday breaks and things like that, we'll be meeting again on January 14th for meeting 3, which will be Destiny by Design. And in that, we'll be directing you on creating goal statements and objectives that will help to inform the superintendent and administration on how they move forward with development of the action plans. Then dates to be determined will be when the action plans are completed, the presentation to the Board of Education, and then finally after the presentation to the board and the public, then the board would be voting to approve the strategic plan and do that by resolution vote. So ways for you as a public to participate in this important process for your students is to attend and actively participate in the 3 meetings that we're having. But again, we don't turn anyone away. If, life is complicated, we all have complicated schedules. If you can't be at all of the meetings, please attend when you can. And please stay abreast of everything going on by just keeping, reading what's posted up on the website so that you're familiar with it. This will help inform you too as you go forward, and the district is having their board meetings and reporting out on things. You'll be able to see the progress that's being made. The work will be directed through the strategic plan. become involved in your schools to the extent possible for the public and for parents. We want to always strengthen that bond of parent and guardians with teachers and administrators. It doesn't mean that you have to be in the school, which isn't always possible, but be familiar with what's going on in the schools. I know that you probably all have websites, attend events that are open, just become more aware of what it looks like in the Linden Public Schools now if you're not already familiar. And attend board meetings going forward where there will be reports out about progress being made. And the focus going forward will be that the work that's being done in the district will be filtered through, everyone's goals will be filtered through how we're all working together to meet that common vision for the students. So that's really the presentation for tonight. I'm not sure if the board has any questions. I'd be happy to answer at this time. Okay. And I really just want to take a moment to thank all of the board and the commitment that you have to all of your students, certainly the staff and the public and the community at large. It's really been a pleasure to hear all of the things that you've had to celebrate this evening, and I know you'll be committed to this process, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you very much. We shared out with the district that, the district community of these 3 dates, and we will be sending another invitation with the RSVP link, as well as a video that we'd like to share to encourage you all, because we need you to be a part of the strategic planning process. Now at this time, I'm going to ask that our Assistant Superintendent for Support comes and join me. He'll be given a presentation in regards to our Apple Distinguished Schools. We have a 90-second video that we would like to show as an intro into talking about our Apple Distinguished Schools.
More than a decade with partnership with Apple.
In 2013, we jumped right to the deep end, and we became a one-to-one district almost overnight. And we've been doing Apple ever since.
Chance to walk around to all my classrooms, to all the classrooms in this building. And every single classroom, a teacher is doing something innovative with their iPad.
And we've learned that the resources available to our students and staff provides them with opportunities to be innovative and creative.
It allows communication for all different types of learners, especially our youngest learners, our early learners, who communicate in a different way.
The goal was always to push technology instruction, use it as a tool, using these devices.
But it's there, it's embedded in the classroom, and you really have to sit there and just watch it all happen. It really is there.
And I think it's a testament to the Board of Education, to central administrators, our regular administrators, principals, and our staff.
So I'm very excited because tonight we are going to be recognizing 5 schools that have either renewed or for the first time obtained Apple Distinguished School status. Schools 1, School 2, School 4, School 9, and McManus. But before we get to the goodies here, I want to welcome up Paul Vasic. He is a leadership executive here, and he has been instrumental in our journey with Apple throughout the entire process of helping, really giving that hands-on support to administrators, teachers, to our schools, to be able to realize this vision of really utilizing technology in very meaningful and relevant ways. So here you go, Paul.
Thank you very much. This is Superintendent Walker. Good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Vasic. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I'm part of Apple's Education Worldwide team, and we're here to celebrate this evening. You have 5 amazing schools that just earned a very prestigious award that we give out at a global level called Apple Distinguished Schools, and we couldn't be more proud. And the first thing I would like to mention is this award is very rigorous. I'll share some of the criteria that we have as global standards of innovation to achieve this. But it's really a testament to the hard work that the leaders and the teachers do in your buildings every single day to continue to raise the bar with what's possible. So I see a lot of teachers and leaders I know here. If you could just stand up, please, if you're a teacher or a leader, so we can give you a round of applause. This is all about you this evening. Congratulations. Absolute superheroes. And I've had the pleasure of working with Linden on this Apple Distinguished School journey for the last 7 years, and it's been an absolute blast. And I really feel we're just getting started. And what I'd like to just share briefly this evening is, what does it mean on a global level to be an Apple Distinguished School? So our vision is we want to build centers of excellence in education that demonstrate our vision for learning with technology, and we believe they're the most innovative schools in the world. And to achieve this award, your schools, they had to make videos, each of them, schools 1, 2, 4, 9, McManus. This year, they applied or reapplied, and we don't have enough time to show you all the videos, but I do encourage you, they have them. Let the schools know you want to see them. They are fabulous, and they just showcase all the amazing, the coding, the creativity, the augmented reality. At Apple, we have a quote. We say, the future doesn't exist. We get to create it, and it's been an honor to see in your buildings every day over the last 7 years, your educators pushing the kids to create the future. So the vision really is not just being consumers with technology, but being creators, making things. And what we do with these schools that belong to the program, we identify the ones around the world that are using best-in-class technology. We build up their leadership capacity so they have a constant stream of innovative education, because technology, we all realize this, sometimes it can move very fast, and it can be a bullet train, and we always need constant new information, so we try to provide that. And the best part to me, and I was a former teacher and I did work for an Apple Distinguished School, is we put you in a network that looks like this. Globally, this recognition program is 889 schools. 11 of them happen to be in Linden, New Jersey, the most in New Jersey, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And the reason we're not celebrating the other schools tonight is because they're already members. They weren't up for renewal this year. You have to renew every 3 years, but in 37 countries. So what does that mean? It means the schools in Linden have direct lines and are part of the same professional learning network of innovative schools around the world. You know, you name it. Scandinavia, Southeast Asia, South Africa, Latin America. We have schools around the world that are doing some really amazing things, and we're just proud that Linden is part of that network. And as the comment earlier this evening, what's in it for us? Being part of this network, these are the things that you get. You do get worldwide recognition, being on Apple's website. The global collaboration is my personal favorite part, just opportunity. If you want to collaborate with a school in a certain place or on a certain topic, you're part of that family, which is awesome. We provide no charge leadership training and capacity building and extra professional learning opportunities. We call it feeding the top. We know Linden is innovative and they keep pushing, but the essence of Apple Distinguished Schools is 2 words. We say it's continuous innovation. You've never arrived. Once you innovate one thing, you look at something else, and the journey goes on and on and on. And we just feel like the best times are yet to come, and tonight is all about these 5 schools that have achieved this really rigorous status. And at this time, I'd like to call each of them up one by one. Let's start with school number 9. If you could come up, please, and receive your award.
Let's see it. Let's see it. We need a so cute.
Congratulations, School 9. Next, we'd like to recognize School 4. Will School 4 please come up and receive your award?
What you're taking is so funny. Very West Indian. Award. You need some more water. But the video was good. They were on good videos.
Next up, we'd like School 2 to please come and receive your award.
She knows what she's doing. Yeah, right? She's so cute. Good in front of the camera. She is. You just. So cute. They're great. They're so cute.
Come on. I got the kids. Come on. Here we go. I want this. Chloe, can you be the moment?
I love it.
Wow.
I like you, but
Next up, School number 1, please come forward and receive your award.
Bang, sir.
Well, she can't hold it. I'm too
Okay, all right, let's do this.
The 20 minutes of presentation. The teacher time should have been done in the workshop.
Want me to shut it all over?
Yeah.
And McManus Middle School, please. And can I have all of our schools come back up with your plaques?
Thank you.
Come on back up. We're going to take a big group photo of all our ADS schools here. With your plaques.
I'm done. Yes. And we didn't even do the rest of it. And you know, the test course is like 20 minutes. We didn't do the takes a village yet, so we're going to do that next. We have to do that next. And it's 8 o'clock already. We're not leaving here till 9. Oh, 9 o'clock, I think.
All right, perfect.
That's why I didn't ask no more questions after the strategic plan. This is going to be too long if we have questions.
Oh, yeah, something different. Push it forward. Yes. You pro, come on.
He's good. She says.
All right, good. Perfect.
Again, congratulations to all of our schools for becoming Apple Distinguished for the next 4 years.
Come on, everybody. Get behind the banner. Maybe get 2 lines. 2 rows.
The people with the signs should come up.
Yeah, we have a lot of people there. They could do
Here we go. There's the 2 rows. There we go.
If you have an award, you should come to the front,
Come on in.
right?
You got to filter in the back there. All right.
He's hiding his award. He's hiding his award.
Got a lot on the agenda. They know that, right?
The reason why my daughter's father is here, so I'm taking my daughter. They could do stuff in the day while I fix her up the few
Really is. She is.
Yeah, something.
How she doing?
Oh, she happy with her father. She don't talk to me no more. She don't. It's all about her father.
That's my daughter. She does. That's her mom.
That one? Big smile, small guys. Dr. B, coming for this one?
Oh, I could come for one. All these beautiful people.
Yes. Okay, give them a round of applause.
Thank you again. Have a wonderful time continuing to create creativity every day.
Mrs.
Right?
Perkins,
The future is the day.
Mrs. Perkins, could you let our Apple advisor to tell us, as I told him earlier, I believe in reciprocity. And when I see all my teachers getting all the recognition and I see global partnership, I want to ask the question, is there any free trips? Yeah, I want to know if Apple give up free trips to some of our principals.
No, we don't accept any free gifts, no.
Well, I have good news. So
tell us some good news.
One quick thing, part of being a member of the Apple Distinguished School family is we have virtual and physical meetups for the principals and lead educators of the Apple Distinguished Schools. Cool story. Last year we did one at our Apple Education office in New York City. A couple of your Linden team participated and get this, not only participated, but some shared best practices to other Apple Distinguished Schools in the tri-state area. So those opportunities, because you have received the award, they will keep coming. We have global summits. We have one coming up in Florida. So a lot of things on that front, because the amazing thing is when you just put innovative schools and educators together, magic happens. So we'll keep doing that.
And you have
Thank
grant opportunities too?
We do. We just announced one globally for education grant 2 weeks ago. I'll make sure you get that information, but that's one of Apple's. Apple as a company has 6 core values. One of them is education. So it's been a core value for 40 years, and we continue to invest in that. And I think that's reassuring to just also know Apple will never pull away from education because it's been in our DNA since the start. But we just announced a new grant, so we're excited about that too.
All right, good.
Dr. B,
Thank you.
Can I ask a quick question? I have one quick question, because Dr. B has been really pushing for tutors from different countries that would need help translating or helping our students that may need the second language I don't understand. Since I see you in 37 countries, the countries that are needed the most here in Linden, we've been looking for tutors that she's been pushing. Is there a possibility that we can get probably a partnership to get tutors from these countries that would be able to assist our students in languages?
Love that question, absolutely. And that's part of what Apple Distinguished Schools sign up for, to collaborate, to be part of that network. All you'd have to do is ask us the question. We love playing matchmaker, and that's part of the commitment to the program. So absolutely, we'd be happy to do that. We've done that in the past in New Jersey and love to keep that momentum going. So absolutely.
All right, thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
And now we are going to transition into the board's initiative of It Takes a Village. We started out with acknowledging the partnership with our mayor, and now reminder that the award is given to a student and a staff member and a community member. So we have Ms. Principato, she is going to be acknowledging the student, and we have Mr. Walker, who will be acknowledging the staff member. You may come up.
She's coming now.
All right, so for our staff member, we have a nomination from Michelle Rodriguez from Principal of School Number 8. This staff member goes above and beyond all the time. She was very instrumental in leading the breast cancer walk, and she is the tech extraordinaire, one of our amazing technology teachers in our district, and she has just done so much globally for our district, for schools 8, 10, where she's at. So it's my pleasure to award our It Takes a Village to the staff member, to Kim Cathalis.
Go up and take it with me.
And now Ms. Principato.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure and honor to award tonight Victoria Rios. Victoria is a well-rounded student. She's kind, friendly, very respectful with everyone. Victoria is a great member and a great asset to our school community. She's always willing to help and support the classmate. She often helps new students transition and get acclimated to our school community. She's involved in many school activities and events. She's part of many clubs, such as the Kindness, Reading, and AK Kids. She's always voiced her opinion in promoting changes and initiative in our school. We are so lucky to have Victoria as a part of our School 9 family.
So thank you. And now at this time, we're going to take a group photo with the recipients as well as the board members over here in front of the backdrop. You can come on, yes. Yes. Yes, come on up. Mom? Is that your mom? I know that's right. Come on up. Congratulations.
Okay.
I don't know if
Yes. Let's go behind.
Again, congratulations to our recipients.
Oh, Miss Green. I saw your pants. I might wear this. I might have to throw this in the wash and wear this.
Good job.
And now at this time, I am going to be reporting out on our standardized data assessment results. Each year, the district is required to share out with the public how students performed on standardized testing in the spring of the previous school year. The two assessments that I am going to speak to is the NJSLA, New Jersey Student Learning Assessment, and the DLM, Diagnostic Learning Map. So the presentation presented by Superintendent of Schools, Atia Perkins. So last year, the first slide that I'm going to show you in English language arts, this is the 3-year trend. In the first column, 21-22 to 22-23 to 23-24, it shows how students performed on the last assessment in 23-24, May of 24. In grades 3 across the district, there was a decline by 1.5%. Grade 4, an increase by 2.5%. Grade 5, a decrease by 5.1. Grade 6, an increase by 4 points. Grade 7, a decrease by 5.4%. Grade 8, an increase by 0.7 of a tenth point percent, and grade 9, an increase by 9.2%. Students are tested in grades 3 through 9. When looking at cohorts, so now these are the same students of how they did over a 3-year trend. So students who took the assessment in 21-22, as you can see in 23-24, in grade 3, there was an increase a decrease from the previous year by almost 2%. Grade 4, there was a decrease by almost 20%. Grade 5, there was an increase of the same students, almost 7%. And grade 6, there was an increase by almost 6%. And grade 7, an increase by almost 2%. And in grade 8, there isn't any data because those students were in 9th grade last year, and we don't assess students in 9th grade. They take the assessment again in 10th grade. So now looking at our 9th grade students, statewide, students were at 48%, and they had an increase by to 81.6%. And at the Linden High School in 2021, they were at 30.4%, and last year there was almost a 48% gain at 78.1%, with students taking the New Jersey Graduation Proficiency Assessment in English Language Arts, and this shows that our students were graduation ready. When we're looking at district data for our math results, we see over 3 years that there is an increase by 0.3% in 3rd grade, an increase in 4th grade by 9.9%, an increase in 5th grade 6.1%, an increase in 6th grade 1.1%, an decrease in 7th grade by 6%, an increase in 8th grade by 0.5%, an increase in Algebra 1 for students in grades 8 and 9 by 3.2%, and an increase in geometry for 9th grade students who took Algebra 1 in 8th grade by 12.1%. When we're looking at the 3-year trend of how students did, the same students in 3rd grade, it was 23.9% compared to the previously 2 years. In 4th grade, 11.3% growth compared to the previous 2 years. In 5th grade, a 15% growth compared to the previous 2 years. And then 6th grade students, they were split into geometry or algebra because they would be in 8th grade now. And these are the scores for the 8th graders. On a state level, you can see that the state decreased by 35%. As a district, it was decreased. I mean, there is no data for the district because the district data has to include Linden High School, so we couldn't disaggregate it. But in McManus, there was the increase by 59%, and so McManus, you see that as the same students, the 57.4%. When we're looking at 9th graders for the math cohort for 21-22 to 20, that should say, for algebra and then geometry, on the state level, they were at a 54.7%, and at Linden High School, we were at a 29%. For NJSLA Science, as you can see for the district 3-year trend, 5th grade increased by 4.3%, 8th grade decreased by 1.6%, 11th grade, it was a decrease by 3.1%. When we look at our district enrollment of our students' ethnicity, we have 51% Hispanic and Latino, 30% Black or African American, 12% White Caucasian, 4% multiple ethnicity, and 3% other. When we look at our three highest ethnicity groups, Black, African American, Hispanic, and white, this slide shows the 3-year trend. From the left, started in 2002 for white students. They went up in 2023 and then declined in 2024. For Hispanic students, they started at 30.3 in 2022, went up by 3.9 in 2023, and then decreased to 30 in 2024. Our African American students in 2022 were at 26%, increased to 31.5% in 2023, and then they declined by 30.3% in 2024. And that is for English language arts. Race for math, our white students were at 30.8% 2 years in 2022 to 33.3% in 2023 to ending off this last year to 27.4%. Our Hispanic students were at 13% in 2022, increased to 17.5%, and then decreased to 17.2% for 2024. Our Black students in 2022 were at 12.3%, increased to 15.8%, and then 2024 went to 15.1%. Our NJSLA program for our special education and our ML students over a 3-year trend. The blue shows our special education students. In 2022, we started at 8.1% to 6.3%, and then now at 4.9% for 2024. Our ML population, they were at a 7.6%, decreased to a 3.9%, and now increased last year to a 7.4% in English language arts. In math, for our special education students, they were at 4.5% in 2022, and then 2023 to 6.5%, and decreased to 4.9% in 2024. Our ML population in 2022 were at 5.3, then went up to 6.5 in 2023, and now at 7.4 in 2024. In math. This is the trend of females to males. The orange is our females, and you can see for our grade levels at the bottom, 3rd grade, 33%, 33.5%, 4th grade, 42%. I'll start back. So from females to males in 3rd grade, 33% to 15.7%. In 4th grade, 42% for females to 26.2% into males. In 5th grade, 42% female to 30.4% male. In 6th grade, 33.5% female to 25.9% male. In 7th grade, 32.8% female to 24.4% in 7th grade. In 8th grade, 38.9% female to 30.1% to male. And in 9th grade, 50.5% female to 29.4% for males. And that was for ELA. And so in math, the trend for 3rd grade, females were at 28.3% to males 27.8%. 4th grade, female 27.5% to 26.0% and for males. In 5th grade, females were at 20.6% to males at 27.3%. 6th grade, females were at 9.6% to males at 13.1%. 7th grade, females were at 12.9% to males at 16.9%. 8th grade, females were 3.4% to males at 8.9%. And then Algebra 1, females were at 16.2% to males at 16.8%. Now, as we look at our dynamic learning map, again, these are broken down into 4 performance levels: emerging, approaching the target, at target, and advanced. This assessment is designed for students with cognitive disabilities, severe cognitive disabilities. They are assessed in ELA, math, and science in grades 5 and 8. The test is administered 1-to-1, and it's an adaptive test that's individualized for students to show what they know. The assessment is given in testlets, or called chunks, for students' sustainability and engagement to complete the test. So there were 58 students who took the DLM test. In district were 44 students, to out-of-district placement, 14 students. In English language arts, we had 29 students who were at emerging, 19 were at approaching, 10 were at target, and there were no students at advanced for English language arts. For math, 35 students were emerging, 11 were approaching, 5 were at target, and we had 1 student at advanced. 52 students overall. In science, 23 students, 13 at emerging, 8 at approaching. It should be 2 at target and no students for advanced. So overall, when we look at our district goals for this school year, we have a goal for student success. And it states that we will conduct data analysis to promote language development, differentiated learning experiences, and continuous improvement. We provide equitable access to resources that support cultural relevant practices and well-being. We promote resilience, opportunities, achievements, and relationships in and out of the classroom to prepare students for tomorrow's pathways. Our staff development and support goal is to attract, develop, and retain top-tier personnel. Focus on meaningful professional growth opportunities for cultural responsiveness, sense of belonging, and innovative teaching and learning methods. We also foster a climate and culture that empowers collective efficacy. So next steps to address the spring 2024 data is for our district to remain in a place where we are back to the basics of the ABCs. We are focusing this year on chronic absenteeism, and we have our attendance review teams in each building who will be speaking with, that compromises of administration, nurse, and social workers and teachers, and to look individualized student attendance patterns, and then have meetings with parents, guardians, students to develop action plans for the students. We address behavior through positive behavior support in school systems, PBSIS. We also have multi-tiered systems of support in place. We are promoting restorative practices, and we also tailor our instruction to social emotional learning. Our district is pushing forward and connecting with connection of culture to ensure that learning, celebrations, and support is provided to all students, and that's through our ROAR expectation for this school year. Instructional support in the classrooms. We have response to interventions. We have academic support, remedial reading, and instructional coaches. Within the classrooms, we have students who are setting up goal setting, and so sessions take place with students to assist them with looking at their performance in the classroom on a daily basis, as well as the standardized testing data. We align our program offerings to community and future needs. Our professional development is content specific. Before and after school tutorial and enrichment programs are continuing this school year. We push for high levels of parent engagement through monthly events that take place on a micro level within the buildings as well as a macro level across the district. And we continue to expand assistive technology resources, and that is a testament to the Apple products that we're using. In our district, we have instructional leadership teams, and they are comprised of building-based teams of administrators, coaches, and teachers. They come together on a monthly basis with our instructional coach, Mr. Mike Pecos, and they work at building educator capacity through collective efficacy. There's collaboration discussions on goal setting for individualized student work that was seen, as well as building level. There's creation of professional learning cohorts, that should be a L in front of the earning. They serve as facilitators of the train the trainer model. After they come together and they go through a data inquiry cycle of learning, they then go back into their buildings at Monday meetings and they turnkey the information for the entire school. They engage in data analysis and inquiry cycles during that meeting, outside of that meeting, and just interaction with the instructional coach. They foster continuous academic improvement that's aligned to standard-based instruction. The instructional leadership teams, here is a cycle of the culture that is being established for data-informed practices. The objective is to identify, learn, and improve. And the roadmap from starting through in October through the end of the school year, they come together, and this is when they do the data inquiry. Within the instructional leadership team's professional learning, they are looking at improvement, understanding that it is a process to get to outcomes. And they get to those outcomes by answering 3 questions, looking at the data. What do they notice? What do they wonder? And then what are the next steps to assist with student achievement? And here are some photos of what this looks like when they were in meetings. So then the instructional leadership teams, they capture all of their data on charts. And as you can see, we have a few schools up there. And the data is then taken back into the school buildings, and that's when they have their professional learning. On October 14th, this week, we had our second in-service professional development day, and it was geared towards each building level's goals and expectations around the NJSLA data, as well as the DLM, to begin to look at pushing forth with those instructional strategies. And that is the presentation for our standardized testing data. And now I open up the floor for questions. Thank you.
All right, at this time, we're going to move on to the education report.
Did you want to teach? We do have one.
You have another presentation?
Oh, I apologize.
So take that back.
Yes, we have one more presentation. Our business administrator, Mr. Sarapilia, will just be sharing out some board accomplishments that have taken place for the last year and a half, starting in 2023. And we could give a drum roll, please, to, again, who's our employee of the year, Mr. Sarapilia.
Thank you, thank you. Before I get started, I just wanted to recognize that Pomptonian actually provided what's apples, which I guess is fitting because we did have the apple presentations tonight. But it's part of their, it's part of, yeah, it just synced up like that, but it's part of their farm to tray program. So the apples are actually there for everybody. So if anyone's hungry, I know we've been here a little while, you can have yourself an apple. So on Tuesday night, our board president asked me to put together a quick presentation that is going to just basically discuss some of the projects, some of the accomplishments that the board has achieved. I'm listening since 2023 because that's when I started here. I'm sure you guys did do a lot more before that, but it didn't include me, so I said. So we're going to go school by school, and what we're going to look at first is the construction projects that we've done or have been able to accomplish over the last couple of years. School number one, we're going to go in order. School number one, we installed new bathrooms. We did a new playground, which is actually in the process of being installed. For those of you who saw in the parking lot, there is equipment currently lined up because that work is set to begin. We've done new ceiling tiles and lights in the hallways. The roof is being repaired, and fencing is being installed to secure the parking lot. Fencing was also installed to secure other portions of the building, and we will be putting up a fence once the playground is complete to secure that facility as well. For school number two, we renovated the basement area. We've actually had 4 classrooms that were redone downstairs. They have had a new playground area that's been installed, and you're going to see that we're kind of repeating some of the items over and over again because we do have a lot of elementary schools and we really want to treat everybody the same. We are in the process tonight to actually award a bid for the bathroom project. The bathrooms are set to be renovated at school number 2 in the fall and winter. School number 4, we had put in new bathrooms for the kindergarten, new playground outdoor learning center. We just had a ribbon cutting ceremony a couple of weeks ago for that. Renovated the main bathrooms. That was done last year. HVAC is currently being installed and worked on. We're finishing up that project. That was part of funding that we received from the federal government as part of the ESSER grants, which was basically funding for the COVID pandemic that we had a couple of years ago. And we are also looking at doing an HVAC install for the cafeteria. That bid was just awarded. School number 5 had a new playground, actually had 2 playgrounds put in, a playground for the 3 to 5-year-olds as well as a playground for the 5 to 12-year-olds. There was a new gymnasium floor installed, and they too are going to have bathroom work that's going to be done over the fall and winter. School number 6, new windows for the gymnasium and cafeteria. That's being done during the fall. We're actually scheduling that to be done, I believe, in November. New playground is to be installed in the floor. They're actually working on that now. We've renovated a couple of science classrooms there with new furniture. We did also the flooring in there and the lighting. And again, you're going to see this over and over again if you look at the agenda. There are several buildings that are having their bathrooms renovated in the fall and winter. School number 8, new HVAC is being installed in all of the classrooms. New playground is currently, actually is done. That work it has been completed as of last week. We are going to be scheduling a ribbon cutting ceremony for that. We redid the flooring in several classroom areas, and we put in new lighting for the bathrooms. It used to be very dim in those areas. School number 9, new HVAC in all classrooms. We did do a new playground that's currently being installed right now. We put new VCT tile flooring. We redid the front entrance with new ceiling tiles and lights. We've renovated the main office, the principal's office, and the nurse's office. And again, bathrooms are going to be renovated in the fall and winter. School number 10, new HVAC in all classrooms. new fencing for the playground area, new backboards to be installed. There was a new greenhouse. They don't have a playground. There's a playground right next to it that we're working with the city of Linden to allow for our children to utilize. The Seoul Middle School, new roofing installed. The science rooms are scheduled to be renovated in the fall. New ceiling tiles and lights by the gym entrance. We redid the gym floor. We put in new fencing for security. And for the middle schools at the high school, we are redoing the auditorium with the audio video to be upgraded for there. McManus Middle School, new roofing was installed, science rooms to be renovated, bathrooms to be renovated, new fencing for the security, and again, we're upgrading the audio visual in the auditorium. Finally, in regards to the construction at the high school, the weight room is being renovated. We purchased new equipment for it. Bathrooms in the last building were renovated. The buildings had new roofing installed. We refurbished the dome area, the bathrooms in the main high school, and the locker rooms are on the agenda to be renovated. We're approving that tonight, and that work will be done in the fall and winter. We renovated the TV studio completely. The vendor is actually saying we're going to have one of the best TV studios in the state. So we're very excited. We're getting close to the end of that project, and I'm sure we will be having a ribbon cutting ceremony for that because we're going to be very excited about that. Auditorium is being worked on. We did do some audio visual in there, but it's also some renovations to the facilities itself. So that kind of touches on all of the security upgrades that we did. I'd be remiss not to, and I don't want to, I'm certainly not up here taking credit because it's, the Board of Education helped do this work, but I would also be remiss if I didn't mention Jason Anderson and Rolly Ramirez. The two of them have been instrumental in getting all of these construction projects done. They're the ones who are acting as construction managers. So I really, if they're out there listening, if they're not watching the Yankee game or Met game, I hope that they hear me and my heartfelt thank you for that work. Security. Now we've done a lot of work in regards to security for the entire district. We've installed what's called a one-touch lockdown, which basically enables teachers throughout the district, if there's an event where if God forbid somebody had a gun or something along those lines, rather than having to call to the main office and have the main office make an announcement and do a phone call, we've automated all of that. There's a 4-digit code that they're going to punch into their phones in the classrooms, and that automatically sets in motion that the announcement goes out that there's a lockdown. The lights start blinking throughout the district. There's an automatic phone call that goes out to the police department, and district staff is notified. So rather than it possibly taking a minute or two for notifications to go out, it's happening within 10, 15 seconds. And anyone, in the training that we've gotten, time is of the essence in regards to those situations. You want to go into lockdown immediately. You want to have the police coming in there because these events don't take hours on end. They're usually over in a couple of minutes. Again, as part of that one-touch lockdown, we did install phones throughout the district in all the classrooms. We've been installing new cameras throughout the schools. Outside the schools, inside the schools. We have a visitor management system that we've put in at all the schools to keep track of who's coming into the buildings. We've done a weapons detection system at the high school. We're rolling it out to the middle school as well. We've added 24 additional security personnel, mainly at the high school, but they've also been distributed to the middle schools and the elementary school. We did a vape detection system at the high school bathrooms. We did yonder packs for the middle and high schools for their cell phones. We are in the process of installing an AI weapons detection system, again, using AI to basically piggyback off of our cameras to detect if there is a weapon within the view of the cameras. And we're also in the process, actually not in the process, we've had cybersecurity now in place for the district. In regards to technology, in the presentation, Joe Scaldino spoke about this. We do have, all the students have a device, they have iPads, laptops, and we are continually, not upgrading them, but replacing them as needed. Technology has a finite life cycle. The students are using these devices, every day in their classrooms. So, they kind of get beat up a little bit, going into school, out of school, they're using them at home. So, we are on a cycle of every couple of years replacing, the iPad and the laptop that you have. The district has worked to install Promethean boards in all classrooms. We are going to be going online with our agendas in regards to board docs, which will save us on our copying costs. We've upgraded the district's policy book, and we've had a successful changeover last year to the Genesis Student Information System. Miscellaneous type items in regards to accomplishments for the multilingual department. A new welcome center began operations during this current year, the 24-25 school year. Early childhood increased by about 5 classrooms per year for the last 3 years, and that is going to continue going because of the grant that we have. Finally, as Dr. B's, one of our big initiatives, the scholarships, in the last year has actually doubled from where it was the year prior. And we've been doing so much that I realized that I didn't even include some of the other construction stuff that we've done, the marquees that we've installed, electronic marquees throughout the school districts. We've been doing ceiling tiles and lighting, replacing that throughout the school to really brighten up the areas. But again, we've been working, we're continuing to work at this. We're always thinking about what we can do to improve the facilities, because again, I oversee the operations and maintenance, and I feel like it's a small part, but it is still, to me, helpful in regards to the education, because I always feel like, hey, if a kid comes into the building, it's nice, it's bright, it's inviting, that they know that they have new playgrounds to play at, that it's going to help them within the course of their day. Finally, in regards to the budget, and this is, really, an accomplishment for this Board of Education. For the last 3 years, you haven't seen a budget increase. And in fact, last year, for the 23-24 budget, we actually saw a $2 million cut. So it's kind of crazy that we've been able to do all of this work and still not be, not impact on the taxpayers of Linden. Other accomplishments that we've done, we've set up the Anonymous Safety and Wellness app. We've expanded our partnership with Rutgers. We currently have 3 full-time licensed mental health clinicians for the district. The dual enrollment partnership, which Atia spoke about previously with Kane University. The award that we just gave out tonight, the It Takes a Village Award, that is helping to foster a more, we always had a great relationship with the city, but this is really recognizing it and really showing how intertwined we are, as well as the PSA video contest, which we had last year. So really, I want to thank the Board of Education, for the work that they have done. Again, none of this is possible without them, and also like to send out a special thank you to the mayor, because again, we've spoken about this, that we are all one and we're all working together. So I want to thank you. We're going to be putting this presentation up on our website, but again, just wanted to kind of share with the community and the board, give yourselves a pat on the back, because we really have been doing a lot, but don't feel like we're done, because we're still going. So thank you, guys.
We working, right? Right. Give my board members a hand. Come on, we are working. Absolutely. for this and don't raise taxes, I am telling you, it is awesome. We have been looking in every nook and cranny to make sure we fix every problem for our students and our district, and we still have a lot to do.
And that concludes the superintendent's report.
That was a lot.
Thank you, everyone. At this time, we're going to move on to the education report.
Good evening, everyone. The Education Committee, upon recommendation of Superintendent of Schools and Assistant Superintendent, presents the following motion to the Linden Board of Education for approval. I approve item 1 through 22, and I respectfully ask for approval.
Second. Roll call.
Ms. Armstead?
I would like to recuse myself from agenda item 4-11/1 and agenda item 10, number 6. Yes to all other agenda items.
Ms. Carrillo?
Yes.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Ms. Elwachi?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
And Dr. Bergen?
Yes.
All right, thank you. At this time, we're going to move on to the personnel report.
The Personnel Committee, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, presents the following motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. All appointments and reappointments are contingent upon and may be modified based on student participation and the district's receipt of sufficient state school aid and other revenue funding. I would like to make a motion to approve items 1 through 42. I respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Armstead?
Yes.
Ms. Carrillo?
Yes.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Ms. Elwachi?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
And Dr. Bergen?
Yes.
Is there anyone in the audience who has been appointed on the personnel report that would like to come up and make any remarks?
Hello. My name is Norma Trujillo, and I was appointed to be a secretary at the superintendent's office. And I just want to express my gratitude. I've been lucky enough to work already with them for almost 3 months now, and it's just been such a pleasure to be part of your team, to have an amazing team, and I look forward to the future in this role. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to move on to the finance report.
The Finance Committee, upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and the Business Administrator Board Secretary, present the following motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. I approve items numbers 1 through 30. I respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Armstead?
Yes.
Ms. Carrillo?
Yes.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Ms. Elwachi?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
And Dr. Bergen?
Yes.
Thank you. This time, we'll move on to Buildings, Grounds, and Securities report.
The Buildings, Grounds, and Security Committee, upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and the Business Administrator Board Secretary, present the following motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. Looking for a second from number items 1 through number 4.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Armstead?
Yes.
Ms. Carrillo?
I would like to recuse myself from items 1. Yes to all other items.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. De La Cruz?
Yes.
Ms. Elwachi?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
And Dr. Bergen?
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to Planning and Policy report. The Planning and Policy Committee, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, presents the following motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. I respectfully ask for a second to approve items 1 and 2.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Armstead?
Yes.
Ms. Carrillo?
Yes.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. Dela Cruz?
Yes.
Ms. El Washihi?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
And Dr. Burkhammer?
Yes.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to move on to comments from the public. Members of the public desiring to make a public comment may come forward at this time. For those watching online, if you wish to make a comment or ask a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature on the online meeting platform. Please begin your comments by stating your name and address. Individuals are invited to speak on one topic at a time, and no individual will speak more than once until all individuals so desiring have spoken once. The public is reminded that to ensure the efficient and orderly operations of the meeting, members of the public will be limited to speaking on items for 3 minutes.
Ladies first.
I drink like a gallon a day.
Good evening. Kim Kafalis, elementary technology teacher, schools 8 and 10. I'm actually not here to talk about technology. I know, shocker. I just wanted to thank Michelle Rodriguez for nominating me for the It Takes a Village Award. And I also wanted to thank the administration and the board for the award, especially Mr. Walker, you know, my principal and all. It really means a lot to me. I've been here for 29 years, so it was really, really kind, so thank you. I also want to say, I know I'm really emotional tonight. I also want to thank Ms. Perkins and Ms. Lewis for planning the most amazing breast cancer walk. It was beautiful. It was everything that we had dreamed of. We had talked about it last year. We did something very small last year, and we got together and said, wouldn't it be great if we could do like a big walk? And to see the year of really us talking about it and it really kind of coming together, it was beautiful. We had about 250 people show up, and it was a beautiful weather day. The wind was not our friend, but other than that, it was a beautiful day. And so I just wanted to thank the both of you for really planning that, because I know that took a large undertaking. And I also wanted to thank the committee, because we had a very large committee. I called them the Pink Army. And we had so many people show up. I was at the field about 6:15 in the morning, and when I got there at 6:15 thinking I was the first one there, I was not. There were people already there at 6 o'clock getting everything ready. So it really, really took a village, and they all came out, and it was a beautiful, beautiful event. I've gotten so many emails and responses from people saying what a wonderful time they had. Kids, seeing kids running around. It was a beautiful, beautiful event. And as someone who is a breast cancer survivor of 11 years this month, it's so nice to see you take the time, and I know you are super duper busy, and to take the time and to really have this beautiful event, and hopefully next year we have even bigger and better. And so I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Craig Halloran, 120 Donaldson Place. I guess I wanted to say welcome to our newest board member.
Thank you so much.
And I'm looking forward to working not only with you, but all the board members and the administration, as I've always done in my own way with everybody. And I'm looking forward to it for another few years. Thank you.
Good evening, Tanya Martin Cooper, President of Linden Education Association and resident of Linden, New Jersey. I'm here to say congratulations and welcome to the board. It's a thrill. My kids also went to Linden High School, participated in the ROTC program, and I just want to say congratulations and thank you to the board for such a great pick. And finally, we did hire some new people, so I'm thankful for that. Take care and have a great evening.
Anyone online? Okay. All right, at this time, we're going to go to new and unfinished business. Is there any new and unfinished business that members of the board would like to discuss? Right. At this time, we're going to move on to board member comments. Are there any comments that any board members would like to make at this time?
I'll go quickly because I know everybody wants to go home. First, I want to offer up my condolences to Marsha Gavin's family and my condolences to Jabari Thomas's family. It's especially disheartening when we lose. Death overall is very sad, but when you lose a young person, it's really something that impacts the community on a large scale. So my condolences to the family and all the students that have been impacted. But I would like to give a big congratulations to Miriam. It's such a joyous day when we see the fruits of our labor of pushing the importance of civic engagement amongst our youth, and seeing that come to fruition. For 2 years, I wore the hat of being the youngest board member to currently sit on this board, and as Mayor Armstead mentioned, our goal is to pass that baton. So I would like to congratulate our newest and youngest board member, who will be bringing us such immense value at the age of 24. We are so proud of you. Your age is not a barrier, but a resource, and we look forward to working with you. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much. I would also like to thank you all again for giving me this opportunity, and I'm really, really excited to work with all of you. So hope we have a great year.
I would like to congratulate you also for joining the board, and I thought I got rid of a woman, and I thought I was going to get another man, but no, I got another woman. But it's okay. I could deal with all you beautiful women in here. Yes, condolences to the families that lost somebody, especially a young one also. What we think about, we take for granted, like I say, we take for granted our families. Don't take them for granted. Say I love you in case you forget, because sometimes we just forget and we move with the speed of life. Okay, life is quick. Let's not take it for granted. Hug the person that you love and say, I love you. Okay? Congratulations to our retirees. Thank you for your commitment to Linden. And hey, once again, I always say it, take a shot on our behalf. Now you could drink unlimited without looking, I got to get up the next day with a hangover. No, you don't. Okay? Another thing I'm going to say, it might sound corny, but for our unsung heroes that we have every day in our system here, okay, and we have a lot, I say take a listen to Mariah Carey's Hero. I dedicate that song to you guys. I dedicate it to our administration. It takes, you guys are all heroes, and you guys don't even realize it, okay? And I thank you for everything that you do day in and day out to make us a success. Thank you, guys. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I would like to, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I know it's getting late, but I want to say congratulations and thank you. Like Brianna said, you're the youngest one here, so we're going to pick your brain, and we do appreciate you. And we thank you because you didn't have to do this. You didn't have to run. You didn't have to come, but we appreciate it. Okay? And John, thank you for your report. I appreciate it. It was nice. It was really nice. And the calendars, thank you very much. I appreciate it because we sure needed it. Okay? Thank you. And everyone have a good night. Thank you for staying. And we appreciate you guys so much. You know, you come out, you show out, you say what you have to say. We listen to you and you listen to us, and we thank you very much. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night and get home safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll be quick as well. Miss Mariam El Washahi, congratulations, welcome, and I can assure you that you are working with an amazing team.
I already know. You can tell.
Congrats to Mayor Derek Armstead on his award and everyone else for the It Takes a Village Award. My condolences to the family of Jabari Thomas and Marsha Gavin. And thank you to all retirees. Congratulations as well. And thank you for the presentations. Those always keep us up to date and on our toes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. My sentiments concurs with all of the board members, and welcome to the board, Marion. It's great to have you. At this time, I'd like to call a motion to conclude tonight's meeting. Respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Armstead?
Yes.
Ms. Carrillo?
Yes.
Ms. Cintron?
Yes.
Mr. Dela Cruz?
No, I just want to keep on going. No, I'm kidding. Yes.
You're on your own.
El Wakihi?
Yes.
Ms. Pino?
Yes.
Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
And Dr. Bergham?
Yes.
Eating adjourned. I was like, eat it adjourned.